Is there somebody with the Bible? I want you to open Genesis. You can sit down for a moment. Genesis chapter number 27, verse 11. Yet zvinonzi Elijah muprofita pakatowanika ndo chinonzi chipo chakawanika Peter akatataura kuti muna Jesu isati yabve panapa akachitogara panapa tivake tumba tiri Transfiguration, Luke chapter number 9. Iwodzoka kumba kwenyu kwamunogara uko maikrebhi uko manheru anhasi unoona baba vako kana flash yefesi yababa unotiza chidoma. Do you hear what I'm saying? Life is not too complicated. Just take things sometimes as they are. Sometimes uchatona mai vako ivavo vachitokudzwa advice yemusoro yavasingatodzwe naprofeti wemumba kwako bazi wekuchechi kwako ndizvo. Take it as it is. Don't overcomplicate it. Ndinotaura wakafa. Sometimes kunotaura wakafa is a good sign. Ndinodada. It does not mean that every time you are dreaming about a dead people, you are going to die. No. Do you know the dead have feelings? It's there in your Bible, but you just don't read it. The dead feel. Dead feel. What's a ghost? What's a ghost? Do you know what you say? An angel that represents you well. But vazhinji hamuzvizivi kuzosara kuiona utori nengiro dzinodziwewo dzikapira muno mamugari kuno andinzwa udza neighbor learn to support local talent. Ukarota murungu ndimwari, ukarota mutema ndisatani. Do you know kuti Jesu anga ari mutema? If you invite the writer to describe what Jesus was like in color, but you are wearing it, you don't know what Jesus was like in Chuchu. So I said, Blake or Rouge, one of them. But around a complexion in India, no, I can't remember my dreams because when I join another dash, to eat. So learn to support local. Let's hear what the Bible is saying there.
Genesis 27 verse 11. Jacob akati kuna Rebeka mai vake, asi mukoma wangu Esau munhu ane mvere, uye ini ndiri munhu ane ganda risina mvere. Ko kana baba vangu vakandibata, ndichava somunhu anovanyengera, uye ndikazouyisa kutukwa pamusoro pangu pachinzvimbo chokuropafadzwa. Mai vake vakati kwaari, mwanakomana wangu, rega kutukwa kuuye pamusoro pangu. Iwe ita zvandinoreva, enda unonditorera idzo. Saka akaenda akandodzitora, akauya nadzo kuna mai vake, uye vakagadzira nyama inonaka, nenzira chaiyo yaidikanwa nababa vake. Ipapo Rebeka akatora nguo dzakaisvonaka dzaEsau, mwanakomana wake mukuru, dzaakanga anadzo mumba, akadzipfekedza mwanakomana wake muduku iye Jacob. Akafukidzawo matehwe neembudzi maoko ake uye nenzvimbo dzomutsipa wake dzakanga dzisina mvere. Ipapo akapa kumwanakomana wake Jacob nyama inonaka nechingwa chaakanga abika. Akaenda kuna baba vake akati, baba vangu. Vakapindura vakati, ndiri pano mwana wangu, ndianiko? Jacob akati kuna baba vake, ndini Esau dangwe renyu, ndaita sezvamandiudza. Ndapota, mukai mudye nyama yemhuka yangu kuitira kuti mundipe maropafadzo enyu. Isaka akabvunza mwanakomana wake akati, waiwana seiko nekukurumidza zvakadai mwanakomana wangu? Iye akapindura akati, Jehovha Mwari wenyu aita kuti ndibudirire. Ipapo Isaka akati kuna Jacobo, swedera pedyo kuti ndikubate mwana wangu, kuti ndizive kana uri Esau mwanakomana wangu chaiye kana kwete. Jacobo akaswedera kuna baba vake Isaka, iye akamubata akati, inzwi raJacobo, asi maoko aEsau. Haana kugona kumuziva, nokuti maoko ake aiva nemvere dzakaita sedzomukoma wake Esau. Saka akamuropafadza. Akati, ndiwe mwanakomana wangu Esau chaiye here? Akapindura akati, ndini. Ipapo akati, mwanakomana wangu, ndipe nyama yako yemhuka ndidye, kuitira kuti ndikupe maropafadzo angu. Jacobo akaisa kwaari akadya, uye akauya newaini akanwa. Ipapo baba
vake, ndipe nyama ndidye kuti ugodi. Ndipe nyama ndidye kuti ugodi ndikukuropafadza. Baba vako namai vako vada kuparidza zhinji. Baba vako namai vako kana asina nyama yako kunyatsomira hako akatovareso. Baba vako namai vako kana vasina chavari kudya from you, not even a prophet can bless you. Do you hear me here? If you can count the numbers you have gone to chicken in, and you can't count the numbers that your parents, you have taken them there. No matter how we calabash here, you will never be blessed. Blessing chaino inchabe chakuti blessing inobva munhu. Don't miss dzamunorasika imwe. The moment you are seeing a person, you're not seeing an opportunity to be blessed. Zvakafanana kuti ndikatora mwana uyu ndikamuti uya pana come here. Ndikamuti I want to bless you. The lesser is blessed of the greater. This is the principle. So if I pray for her, I am imparting what is in me to her. Now, put a blessing in the pastor, vako, prophet, vako. Blessing your area of my blessings in terms of your prosperity cannot be higher than the blessing of your mother and your father. And it's here as parents in a life. 2025 kana undararama life yemarori majetsi chizvida uchiposta. It's not bad to post. You can live that life. But background yekuti zvabvepi ndo yanoda kukupa. Baba vako namai vako vakakuzvara. If you fail kuvadyisa nekutovanyebera, manzwa here kudzanemba nekuvanyebera, maisaziva kuti kutonyeba kunotokomborera naye. Takuvhurira ivhesi. Mai vaJacob vanototi shama kana ndaurawa pasi neblessing tekadewo dewe why nekuti Esau ane mvere anga ari here vari vanhu vadananomuze. Saka this last born cannot be blessed before the first born. Some of you here might not like your parents. It's good to like. But it's good. Sometimes you read to go for no neighbor. Mama madira do it so. Ndakusweza kuti maswira acho andiwo. Mama, you know what? I miss you so much. Mama munozoti hakuna munhu anogonerana neni. Chero chitozoti pane zvinhu zvavanobaisa. Murinidzwa nomwari. Secret ye prosperity yamusi kuziva ifavor from a man, and sometimes it's not your pastor. Here I come to give you direction, do this. You go there, you implement. pana pamwe anochitarisira pasi unocalculata too much. Ainini handina bvudzi, handina chiya, ndozvaitwa naJacob. Handina bvudzi. Saka unozosara uri palife yecompetition yekuti you feel kuti pana vamwe vanhu ari nani than iwewe. Ndozvakaitika pana Jacob. Arikutarisa life yake ona haina bvudzi. There can be a limitation iri pauri, but chinokupa qualification to the next level. Kugara uri paword of God nemaprinciples eword of God ndo covering yedewe rutove hwako. Saka parunzi namai vake pfeka dewe, parunzi pfeka a covering that gives you favor. Kuna baba ukaenda usina dewe, usina covering, awane blessing. Chero baba vacho vanotsvaga ane covering, ane dewe, vanotsvaga skin. Now, everybody ari panapa ndikakubvunza kuti toitei kuti tiwane blessing. Unotaura zvinhu zvese zvakawanda izvi, but wosiya favor from men. Kutodiwa nevanhu chaivo itori blessing pachezvayo. Wakufana kudzidza usangodiwe dzimwe nzvimbo dzisina kana nebasa rese. Pane dzimwe nzvimbo dzekuti chero ukafarirwa ukasafarirwa hadzina kana zvakana kuti yeye ndofarirwa paFacebook. Are you hearing me? Hakuna kana basa rese uko. Today chaivo ukanzi wewe nhasi wamuka 10 o'clock dzemakuseni ungosangana na wiki na umurodu akangokudo watonaye kungoku nyaya iziye kuti face yakadii no favor. Nyaya iziye kuti kumusha kwabva kuita no favor. Nyaya iziye kuti unotamba nani no favor. Wana favor from men and favor from God. So you can tell. Now, mama wake ndo anompa ina idea kusema chipeka chipo. Ewo. Pese pano pane blessing there's an exchange. Haugone kubless usina chawaendesa zviti. Do you know what my South Africans? Ukaenda ukanopanidza South Africa izvi. Kuna vanhu vamwari vari panapa kana vakangopanidza South Africa. Do you know what I want to say? Wadama. Ma South Africans ukasvika ukamnamata wakati karabashi akitika karabashi wapedza oba ndakuropafadza aramba akakudzokora baba vanopenge baba vane nomo iwe unobva unotanga kuti chienda iye anoramba ariko zvatopera havana chavanondikumbira kana kuti bvisa bhutsu angatoda kunzi bvisa bhutsu dzako undipe. Why? They've gotten to that point where they understand that when there's a blessing, there's an exchange. Are you hearing what I'm saying? When there's a blessing, that favor from men. This is the reason why I said one of the ways they gain another favor from men is serving. Do you get what I'm saying? So never think, even your parents, you think, can I remain to 5? As you do to make some blessing over 5. There's no family, there's nothing like that. Blessing for every family goes with one child. Never going to be everybody else. Blessing for every family in a one. There's a Jacob for every family. So if you people can prosper, you're gonna bribe into things. A competition, the sister knows, that sister knows, that one knows, and then there's that competition. Not this thing here, which is you people. I once interviewed a person. You have heard it? Huh? You have heard it now? No. Don't worry, just relax. Okay, tell me about yourself. So they'd come for prayer. And I said, tell me about yourself. But you know what? You need to know matter, but baby was right. Mama want to wear, okay. And they're telling me their story. I could tell they were bitter. It happens. Sometimes also, parents can disappoint. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know the other parents who even ran away from their kids? What's originating? So he says, I told you to teach the more prophetic churches and so on. So I always told them, I know what church they are seated. I told them to stop. I want to teach you something, you people. Is this not okay? Like I do teach you something, you people. No matter how I am a prophet, no matter how I see at any standard that you can put me in, are you hearing me? When I go to my mother, I tell her that her church is the best church. Some people know here, I went to my mother's church and I said, okay, this is where I learned prophecy and this is the best church in the country. My uniform is going. In what business, I am going to shout down here, to find out which is the way I grew up in a frontline church. And it doesn't matter. Do you know what, people of God? Life is not really about competition. Do you know my church most of you here were fapana. Hakuna mnanomba kutira, mnakatogara na mno. One prophet who will tell you the truth. I'm not saying it's bad to be here. I'm also not saying it's bad to be there. I'm just trying to be fair. Magabone enemy love you angry. Kana mnaita problem. Mama anachembeleza zote kwa info mzalana ngeko. Hawana all prophecy, all kunta NG. They can't say you were born in 1992. They also cannot. But listen, there is something there also. Love. Even when you're busy, you're man, what about you? What was on Timothy? Even the Kakuza Kuno Kutogari and Ning. So I may have said, you know, down I go. She gave us to the Mama Chico when the tools were. Zaka, wait when I check up. That was once in my mind, you are the most perfect woman. Somebody has a man wins, I don't know where jobs are correct. So down. Because there's no gift which is not subject to control. A gift can be controlled. It's not a gift if you can't control, it's my gift. So I decide when to prophesy. Ukasangana na baba wako dzidza kuti mudhara makaipa. Mudhara ndimune yese. Chero kakabata skadi kadhara ikako. Mudhara mudhara makaipa. Mudhara makaipa izvo. Muri chipapa chibabesi. Kana uchine opportunity to be around your mother. You people. You don't know how some people are just stealing blessings and doing things. You think your pastors are busy praying. Let me tell you something about the prophet. Because God now is the prophet Kashinji. Besides what happens in the spirit, I'm saying wisdom. It's a wisdom thing sometimes. Don't be busy troubling your parents. You're saying things, you're gossiping, you're busy doing this. Even Kanawatama, it's not right to be saying it. Are you hearing me? Yes. It's not right to be. Vakapinda pinda zviripo nekuti chii muripo. You know, there's a time when I used to say, oh, why was my father poor? I was born in a poor family. You know, some of us, how we lived in Chichungiza day. And our life was difficult. So, the last time you say, Mana, I'm wrong. I'm going to so, they don't have no family GT6. They don't have family H05. They don't have family Ziprato. That's so. You are fine. I'm like, I had to go say Tuesday. I was telling people in my class that my dad drives better cars than your dad. Wow, so immediately there was a time your dad said, hey, wait, you know what I'm saying? And God said, stop. There's a time when God said, stop them. And I asked him, and I said, why is he telling me to stop? He said, God, I as God, I know the perfect plan. Kana iwewe baba wako wanga vasitorina, zvinotoreva kuti iwewe ndione power racho. Ndaraungo zvaasina kuita zvese, akasiyira iwe. Akasiyira. So I used to do that. Svanzina Mwari, blessing yako iri pakutotanga kutenda baba vako chero vakafa. You know, right now I'm in the process of going to my father's grave. Ana Maria na Mari tanzo wakaenda pagora Jesu achiti. Iwo gora paboko. Autoshikipo. Don't believe in local talent. Ana Maria na Marita vakamukira pagwa raJesu. Iwo gwara baba wasito kwambomukira hapo kana gwara mai wako wasito kwambomukira hapo. But there is a prophet now. I'm not telling you things that I'm trying. I see these dead people. Ndakapreacha mchichi muno ndikati iri ndo doctrine dai ndisina kuona ndisina kuparika. You are busy uchiti mwana wa Isaac aripi. Akafa udomukutya utaura. God of Moses. Akafa. Wapedza manje. Warota mbuya wako wakafa ubotoma. Handiti zvona wakafa. Madreams angu ese handiti. But ukapinda muchechi. Mwana wa Isaac, mwana wa Moses, mwana wa. Vakaendepi. Do you hear what I'm saying, people of God? Favor. There are nuggets for favor that you now need to learn. Get off your high horses in terms of some of these things. They are very simple. Right now I'm actually going to do something. I know that grave was already done. But I'm just going to go. Can I stop the Rangana or polish? In honor. The Bible says, and Jacob built a tomb in honor of who? Rachel. In honor of who? Rachel. Why was Jacob building a tomb? You're busy with an amount I don't know about. Tenda Nandos, tenda chicken, tenda KFC, I live in fire. Guys, have you ever not seen there are people do you know there are people who are also talking about Matamana attributed to Christ? But when you what's going to happen is Zimota, Atengaimba, Amubru, Achi, and you are wondering, Hasum when you're on a matter stage and do it. I'm eating. I'm eating. Tenzara Sky Bami, Maya, I don't get zero churi. Chua bad. Kaskamaya Shura, tell Mama continue, Robert Tracy. Hey, Sisi, this way, Banana. Matoshikari Po. Later, Mama, some of my boys tiri kumba on one of the days. Guys, kana mama wako baba wako wa. Tendele zvakadaro. Mwe mangu ndakazvizwa kuti ndosika vachita marombe. Mwewo urombe shoka. Ndo one spirit yekuchirowa uru. Rombe racho harizvinzwe ndini. It is against the order of God for you to be busy with your mother. Do you know, I don't even remember the last time I even told my mother that this is wrong. In any person, I don't remember the last time. To tell your mother that you are doing something wrong. You now. No matter how Christian you are, even if you pray, can I go over in anger? Still not know about the Makona Nimbia. What's her neighbor? You're so mugaba. Hey, Baba. To have battery, I say, permits Zenit. To battery, I beg him to don't go to my shoulder. Watozonona mata wao wega kuti Mwari one munhu wenyu. Moyo wake ndimwe wasa uchinji. Not this is zvamukuita kuti. Mwasvika kuna mai wako iti prophet. Ayemika. Ini wangu amai ndo vakazosvikawo musi wakazosvikawo. Waneno zvamboona vakavhiringwa kuhope. Wambovhiringwa kuhope zvokunomuka na 3 am zvizvo ndaona. Iwewe uri kuprofita mbandiwo. Uri kuprofita iwewe unotoprofita iwewe. Kunoti Joshua wati ine ndakazonzwa Moses. Always obey the channel with which you came through. Wakabuda muna mai vako shamwari. Chero ukazochinja, chero ukaita mari, ukaishaya ukadii. Pana akakuintroduce into this end before even your prophet knew you, before even your pastor knew you, before even your evangelist knew you. Amana musadherere channel, senge channel yamai yakaipa. Zvino chinozotipa kutofarisa kutoziva kuti tinenge tichitagadzirisa. Chero ukazosvikawo kutukana nana Peter nana James nana basa avo. Unogona kutofamba uchitodza vanhu kuti hana mari ndosasina mari. Mai vako vaudza kuti mamai iwe millionaire. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Do you know that most people are battling my words and my parents? I had one pastor who accepted 2-3 years ago. I can never pray for a person and bless them if their parent has not blessed them. Murunezwa. Muri busy kuyazosida kuna prophet. Ipa baba wachaga mubana masida ega anosida every week, every day. I have a sister, mwana wa bamkuru wangu. Anaenda to some big prophetic church in Chitunguzane. So the other time, my wife and I discussed, tunaita makuwa. Varimeri tisimze maona. Kana mbame musikaita makuwa, musati mameri. Mbame yunga musina makuwa? Ah no. Musati mati okapo. Mchibona unyewa wanu. So at some point in time, we wanted to understand. But why is it that sometimes people who go to church, including this sister of mine I'm talking about, goes to church, sees. No prosperity, no sign of prosperity. She started going to this church in 2010. The man of God is very rich. You know who I'm talking about. But this sister of mine continuously plummets into poverty. We're in an anointed place. But I was anointed. The news was that Sangai no one. At least. She knows the anointing kumbachi parents. So I said to my man that, you know, church is not going to survive home. But how to go and sit in church or may I go to church or so don't have a seat. Before we even talk about food, I don't know how to sit. You need to have done it. You didn't know it. You just believe. You need to have taken a seat and said, Mama, if there's something that I wronged you some way or some mathematics, I did it in private. Never announced it. Mama, you know what? It could be that there is something. But Mungaita Mero is sitting. Sitting, and this is a pastor. No, it's okay. You just give her like that. And listen, there's something to do with prosperity that comes when you do that. So I'm looking at this sister of mine. Why is she? So she's busy sitting there, and you know what? There's no prosperity whatsoever. And I'm looking at her siblings, it's the same trend. Why? If your mother is smiling at you, heaven is smiling at you. Never be lied to. Some of us prophets, I told you here in this church, and people were busy, and were sure already. That's not what happened. But I'll find this church alone. Whatever you people think, just come sit here and go back to your homes. And people were like, what is he saying? I know what I'm talking about. Sometimes it is not exactly that when you come to church, you now want to be busy sitting. But where you come from, there's a problem there. So you blame a pastor. That's all I'm not my pastor, my prophet, my evangelist. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. Sometimes there is a problem with pastor. I want to gift to say to a person, where you are coming from, that's what the problem is. Your mother is not happy with you. Do I have pastors here? How many are pastors here? I'm going to teach you something about prophecy that you don't know. Even if you don't pray, you start end up saying this. When we said a message, you could have never go to Mama down on no parents. You can prophesy more than you have ever thought about. You know to show me school name. You know that you move very power and you guys are to a video. But I got my video and change one of them and that's one of most so that didn't I go up and a minute. She takes come. When you go to show me school name. I was going to go there. Says you are going to test secrets. She would have a match of Bono and get here. You know, not to go to the material. I mean, I'm going to the road. She said, I would want us away in that. But at least in the heart, she'll be happy to know. Zulu together for a while. Don't neighbor, Zulu together. Don't neighbor, she's back there, don't. I said something controversial in this church some months ago. And I said, never think of a blessing kana pakuva baba wako kana pamai vako pari sora pari masora, and then you're coming kuchechi kune dheko yakadai so. Vamwe makachengetwa nana mbuya panapa, pakuva pambuya vako pane sora so pakashata zvekuti hazvitombotarisiki, but iwe unoiswa lipstick. Do you hear what I'm saying? Some of these things you have to do what is called a recalibration of your life. Where are you getting it wrong? I have a friend of mine. We went together in school, and he was now telling his wife, he says, I went with this guy to school. Huh? And now he's richer than all of us. It seems as if we never went with them to school. And I'm explaining to her now, because this guy loves talking about me. Like he loves me. Actually, every day I'm to that relation. He loves that language. And I was explaining to her, and I said, do you know there's a day, ask her, there's a day when I took Mama with a bus, he refused to see his mom. Do you know what I did? I told her, and I said, you know what, I'm going to prepare some money. I prepared $150. Went and took my friend's mother. Got Mama. Inini ndikutorai ende ndikati munudzi kwamunoda kunodyira pamada marare kuda panodhura. Ndikati mama masikatana ndoda kuspend 150 on you only. She starts crying, and she's in my car, and my money wavangaripo. Ndikati mama handi munodya ndoda nimudye zvamunoda. I went with her mom. Lunch only cost about $150 where we went. And she's busy eating. I could see she was so happy. I called my friend and I said, you know what, I'm with your mother here. He was very frustrated. Holly, why did you even talk to her? And I'm like, I'm not gonna ignore your mom, dude. It's against the order of the spirit. Mama, then she got my money in bus. Since we come on at house, don't want to, you need to pay money in bus. So I'm in my way. Mwana, shamwari yakwe, chacha bat, achimudiri. This friend of mine is also a pastor at this big church in Jitome. She knows him. Very tall. A pastor in that church. Even known by the name of God. And I'm like to him, I set him down the other time, and I'm like to him, you know what, my friend? Even if you get prayed for, even if you see them a million times, your things, the reason why they're not going to work is because of one simple woman from the village. From the village. A woman in the village who is crying about a child that they gave birth to. And I said, there's no better prophet in your life than your parent. I'm telling you this. I don't love hearing my own parent prophesying negatively. And he had one car at the time. I just heard it after 2 months, just me in 2 months. He sold the car because I'm spirit. His office was getting close because he was also now in debt. Because of chikweret. Mukadzi mbazi nazi kufamba pano basi. Do you see? And now every pastor or prophet is teaching about something very different. You see, I'm telling you this. You will not find a prophet. You will not, in fact, We are one of the first churches to talk about people just listen, people of God. Here in this church, order of blessing here, Munum church. We are okay. Go and feed your mother. Come on. Huh? You don't all of it as well. And they all know that. Some things are just sensitive. But do you hear what I'm saying? If you yourself, you have not made your mother or your parent happy, never think of coming here and receiving my blessing. Don't even dream about it. Some of you are busy kneeling down. You know, sometimes when I see kneeling down, people kneeling down, I just see hypocrisy. I'm telling you this. You can't be kneeling at your pastor and you've never knelt down before your mother. To just say, Mama, you know what, I'm sorry. Even for things, just saying, Mama, I don't know how I wronged you, but you know what? Peace, please. Because one day we I know about that. You go open no good day. What about that deal? So I put it in. I want you to manage to I'm setting my point and nothing. But we're going to run too much issue. What peace? What should have been numbers by going watching us? She's not a sweeter. Was always romantic. I have a body my size. And which you can get over a man. What do I know about the Baba Ben? I hear me. No matter how you try to. Alright, let me give you this example. Again, go by example. We para no get zero. No matter how wrong I am, let me tell you this. If we are going to get zero, what will the problem we are no matter the star and no star? Okay, but you all don't zero. Even if this one sees me naked, that is a spirituology. That is a Nepo Zanya also Zikoni, Baba Nigimi, Baba Grepi, Baba Jojita, Baba Jijina. Amuzo Zikuri Wondo Zanya Zikoni. Do you know what Lot became naked? And the difference between Shem and Ham was that one noticed that what the men we are dealing with here is a father figure. So if I point at him and say, I'm saying you naked, this, and then start laughing about him, even in his absence, I attract a curse that no man can reverse. So no matter what you think, oh, it's okay, Pastor, I understand, I love you. You're my son. In the eyes of God, it's against spiritual order for a son. Sit down. Now imagine if it is about your parents. Alright, go to I can take your own boots. Can I dress in the room? And you look at the shoe you're wearing, yeah, there's a time in ministry when we used to think sitting is what is going to raise people. Men of God here, pastors, evangelists, if you think ministry will make you money, you are lying to yourself. Ministry will make you broke. Ask them, they know it. I had one son of mine last week at Stanton. When I told her to change to Maria, I didn't believe and send out in the church. Hanzi ndaitombombodini umwe waitodaro kuti uchinotorwa mari zvazidai. Hanzi ndazoipinda ndakutanga kuparticipatawo pakunzi imboni mari ndisebvisa chebude kutanga kuona mari yaita sekuti iri kungoga one direction. Itorwa yako iwe mfundisi. If you have partners, you can have them. But you see, the thing is, as a man of God, grow in business first and not ministry. One will fit into the other. I'm telling you, it will work out. Have a strong, you know, one of the, that's why I respect Apostle Steve. You know, he's the first man to give me this prophecy. And I remember, I was so young in the prophetic. And at that time, he was doing ministry next to Prophet Passion by Ted and Robert Mugabe. They had one of the biggest ministries in town at the time. And when he saw me, he said to me, you see, young man, there's a prophecy for you that I heard from God. And I said, what is it? So don't leave what you do as a profession, sacrificing to be an all-time minister. There's nothing like an all-time minister. How do you become an all-time minister? You tell me, you don't know much I will as a pastor and a prophet, whatever you call yourself, from Monday. Because comes with Urumona Matabet. Karabasha, Nevada Gum. Tano. Mufane Zara. Hey, Zico. Akuna kunzanzi tirisoda together sechechele mfundisi. No, sir, no ma'am. You are missing it. The Bible says and Paul was a tent maker. He was a maker of tent. Paul, the greatest apostle, he wrote 2/3 of the New Testament. Paul. And what theologians are saying, there is evidence that Paul was a lawyer. This is the reason why, if you see how he writes, I mean, you write an argument. Shall we then say, he was someone from law school, Paul, and also being a maker of tent. I got the and then why there was a big business. Even now, if you check those people who are doing tents, they've got big money. Mandis were a man police, but they ever went to Chopin to Baba. It came when we go every day and Shandy. Ministry should not be an everyday thing. Vamando, I'm going to be around to go for a turn, Sisan. Professor of Winnie. What's in Zogo? Go say bad. Go guys, you know. Magawaga zero. My God is great. But this one, if you want to become the best version of yourself as a pastor, have a strong business side that you have. Program yourself in business. You know, it's difficult to preach this gospel, pastors. Listen to me. It's difficult to preach this gospel with a heart that is constrained because of finances. Because I don't think I'm teaching you how to learn. So I tell you, no, I'm not taking a suit. Don't be busy trying to learn prophecy. You want to learn how to hear from God before you learn how to hear from man. It's a formula that is fair for everyone. Otherwise, you start calling too many offerings. Now, this is an offering for shoes. Now, I'm change my mind. See demonstrations. Now, where is the demonstrations now? No. See demonstrations. seed emastenzi understand ngauye kuno kune seed izvezvi maseeds emastenzi kana mukasatoibvisa hakuna mastenzi. Tauda seed yemudzimba. Do you know you people how easy it is to have a house? I have a friend myself. The other day he gave 4 people houses. You're not going by. She knows him. A friend, he gave people 4 houses. 4 houses. And then after 1 week, one of my friends, we went there and he just said, you go and take that house. You know that house there? There's a car which is go to the corner of Chapu Makasi where I got this person, this friend of mine, the latest house, she knows him. He doesn't pray. Doesn't pray. And now, time yes, sit get Zimba. Another Zimba. We have the same manage. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, what is there? Sit get Zimba. Now, sit. You have to sort of feel one another. Now, sit. You have to sort of put this one on. Right, don't talk you as a teaser. Personally, maybe it's because I'm a lawyer, I reason too much. Even for me to convince you that you can prophesy, extra, I am not a casting tender. What do you know, profit? I do not analyze. I'm trying to just give you the kind of mindset that I also have. It will assist you in your faith. Because if you can't doubt it, you can't have faith also. I know what fake prophecy is. You want not to prophet to me. Prophet I do not know about fake. Don't I know about my to change I once went to a church. Kwa ndakanzi ndaona masangana nemunhu okay munhu ndikusangana naye zvanzi uchasangana naye next year okay kadzano ndikaratidza zvanzi anonzi Brian arore uchasangana naye next year munani muna June okay zvanzi munhu uyu manje akatoipa munhu yeye asipeno ndakatiza tokuraye mune ndakutofa vanzi saka kuti musasangana naye ndakutonamata muhamasindi all this while ndakanyarwa kuti ameprofeti kana anomuta kuti unogona kuprofita iwo tokudza ndodogona tokudza zita ramai wako izvezvizvo ndakanyarara saka takurivhesa ndakutonamata now prophecy yakadaro nomwari handikwanisi kuivherifyawo inini kana newewewo because Brian ndichafanira kuzosangana naye handimuzivi handikwanisi kuvherifya kuti Brian ari kwenu secondly next year ende takurivheserwa kuzomuona saka handisi kuzomuona next year yacho. Is that prophecy? You must know. Prophecy is a real business. It's not something that you can then say, I still like you, but I need it. If I want now, I can tell you what will happen in this country. Do you know? Last week, but one, I went with one son of mine to a certain place. Didn't know we were going to CIO. Didn't know. I'm now at the level where I prophesy to the cabinet. Mati. Do you hear what I'm saying? Now, here I'm talking about tomorrow now. So I was talking to another person who said, a group shinzi mama taura kuti ndege yaprofile yapresident chadonda semusinaisa pafacebook semusinaisa payoutube. And I said, it's no longer that kind of relation by every government. Some of you know. I used to do it. I would post and say, this is going to happen. Now I don't, because I go to them directly. Even if I look for your own benefit in church, and this is eating for cloud. My prophecy here, that is like I post and post reward. Right now, they will trend for the next 2 months. Am I being heard here? Am I being heard here? I want you to just notice something here. I'm just talking about favor. I want you to hear favor. Zviri nani kuti mari wabvisa kunokutokudzorera. Mangwana makusana mukoma pakabhana uko wotenga chidress chako. Unoza dress inoita $3. Ndakavhunduka zvinhu. Vakadzi vanozviziva. Dress rinoita $3 mutaura. Rinotodhura ekuma $5 anenge kutodhura. Unotengera mwenga kudress shamwari. Bhutsu. I'm being attacked by demons. Demons, you are attacking yourself, my sister. You are attacking yourself, my brother. Even if a dollar to your parents, Mama, send $1 and you go for $9. You're not even doing it. But you come to church, you want to be prayed for. How do you receive favor from a woman, from a man that you have not served? What is serving a parent? It is doing basically whatever they want. Are you hearing me? Mm-hmm. Sometimes when I want to see, I know what the parents say, they don't pass and pay my $20 nice. Because one she knows it. One she does put the woman now here. Those are zero. Those are to them. No matter what the same the same 20 nice. Those are the bad sim come and she come carrying in what are in a chat.